Welcome back to Studio 90 Extra Time. Here today on the couch, U.S. midfielder Stuart Holden. There he is. There he is. All right, so let's briefly talk about the England game. And you played the last 5 minutes plus stoppage time. How tough was it to come off the bench into a maelstrom like that game that's going a million miles an hour, and you basically sitting on the bench for the entire game?
Yeah, it was a fast game. It was a good game to watch even. You know, it was end-to-end, chances on both sides, a lot of physical tackles, fast play. So it's a game that you have to be prepared for, and when you're warming up, you have to know that coming into a game that's going that fast, how to position yourself, you know, how to kind of find your way into the game. So that's the hard part. But when you're coming in, I think I only touched it probably 3 or 4 times in that last 4 or 5 minutes, but it's more keeping the shape and making sure that you bring a bit of energy and close them down and really just provide kind of a spark coming off the bench in those last 5 minutes.
Well, is that what Bob and the coaching staff asked you to do? What sort of instruction did they give you right before you went in? Yeah,
Bob told me that to keep shape and make sure that I brought some energy to the game, whether it be attacking or pressuring Lennon and Ashley Cole, because Lennon had switched over to the left side, and I was giving Stevie a little bit of support over there because both of them were bombing on. So it was just kind of to provide a bit of shape and a bit of stability, and at the same time provide a bit of energy going forward and see if I couldn't create something that we could snatch a goal towards the end.
So speaking of trying to create a goal, you actually got in the box with a touch right at the end of the match. I think it bounced off an England guy's leg. Talk about that. What did you see?
Yeah, it was a good little build-up. Mikey found me on the right and just tried to smash it in front of the goal as hard as possible and hope for a deflection, I think, because England had a lot of numbers behind the ball, and I think it hit off Ashley Cole's leg and then off his shin and went out for a corner. So it relieved the pressure a little bit, and obviously I wish that ball had maybe been a little bit better, but at that time you don't want to try anything clever that, you know, maybe that sends them down the other way, and you just want to try and cause havoc and smash it across the goal.
All right, well, let's talk about your World Cup experience here. You're a young guy. You're just 24 years old. You're playing in your first World Cup. Most guys your age, you just graduated from college. They're sitting at a desk somewhere. They're 20 pounds heavier than they were when they entered college.
Me too.
And you are living the dream here at the World Cup. What's the experience been like?
Yeah, it's been kind of there's been a bumpy road. It hasn't all been smooth sailing. It wasn't like I had a smooth path to the World Cup, and obviously there's been setbacks along the way. I went through college for a year and a half, had some bad injuries in England, and just kind of hard work and perseverance has gotten me where I am. And everyone's asked me now that I'm here, you know, you dreamed about playing in a World Cup since you were a kid, and you have. Ever since you're a little boy watching soccer and in your bedroom and watching the '94 World Cup. I remember watching that thinking, oh, it would be so sweet to play in a World Cup, and now you are kind of that role model for those kids that are coming up and that aspire to be professionals, and it's a cool feeling, but at the same time I don't think it'll fully sink in until maybe 20 years time and sitting around and tell your kids that you played in a World Cup, and I think that's something that nobody can ever take away from you.
Now, the World Cup, as you said, is such an immense thing. It's such a big thing. It impacts so many people around the world and back in the United States. But truth be told, you guys are a little insulated here. You know, you don't get out of the hotel much except for training. But have you got a feeling maybe from friends and family back home or through Facebook or wherever, what kind of impact this is having back home?
Yeah, I think talking to friends back in Houston, they had a big watch party at Discovery Green where I think there was, you know, thousands of people, and I got messages and sent videos of when I got subbed into the game, and the crowd went crazy, and it gave me goosebumps seeing that, and even just hearing from other guys and seeing videos of bars and around the country where people are watching the game and seeing them celebrate when we score, you really kind of get the feel that World Cup fever is hit, and that whether Americans like soccer or not, they're supporting the U.S. in this tournament, and everybody's, you know, really excited and on the bandwagon and wishing us well. So it's a pretty cool feeling to know that you're representing so many people and everyone that's an American and on a world stage, and hopefully we have a chance to do something special.
All right, well, let's talk about your move to Bolton. You went over there on a 6-month contract. At the end of the season, you got extended. But what was it like, sort of, in a young American going over there only on a 6-month contract, trying to prove yourself?
Yeah, I think it was kind of a controversial move at the time because people were saying, why is he going 6 months before a World Cup, and you know, kind of putting myself out there a little bit and not knowing what could happen. And I got the chance from the manager to with a 6-month contract to prove myself. And at first I wasn't on the bench, I wasn't in the 18, and was still finding myself training well and working hard. And when that opportunity came, I was ready, and took it by the reins and just kind of ran with it. And Obviously, the injury I had in Holland was unfortunate, but the manager had made it clear to me the day I got back. He told me they were going to extend my contract, and he wanted to keep me here longer term. And to me, that was a great confidence boost, and really gave me something to work for and to motivate myself to get back fit and healthy. And now in talks with them about another contract. And you know, I really love the place. I love the club. I love the managers. I love the players. You know, it's a great fit for me, and looking forward to some more years there.
Now, it's well known that you grew up in Scotland until I think you were 10 years old. But anyone who talks to you, that you're an American guy. But you still feel a strong connection with Scotland, even though you haven't been there for many years?
Yeah, I think that's a question I've been asked a lot recently, especially with the England game and representing the USA and having been born in Scotland. But I think, you know, we're all American citizens, my family now. I've lived in the States for 15 years, so I do consider myself an American, but I'll never forget my Scottish heritage and kind of growing up in that culture. And it helped me settle back into England so quickly, because having known it and been around the culture, and it's something I'm definitely proud of. We still do, my parents host a St. Andrew's ball where we all wear kilts and we go and do the Scottish ceilidh dancing and eat haggis, and it'll always be a part of me, and I'm proud of my Scottish heritage, but I'm really proud to represent the U.S. and I consider myself an American.
As you said, you're perhaps maybe the only Scot here at the World Cup. Obviously, Scotland didn't qualify. Do you think maybe the Tartan Army somewhere deep down is rooting for you?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think talking to friends and family, they might be a little biased, but you know, they've said, especially in the England game, that you have the whole of Scotland rooting you on, and the whole of Scotland are U.S. supporters, and obviously I think, you know, Scottish people are very proud and very loyal, and I think you know, with me being born there, I think they'll be supporting the U.S. and we'll have another couple million people supporting us in the World Cup.
All right, Stuart Holden. We're done with our first segment here on Studio 90 Extra Time, but we're coming back with some Stuart Holden fun facts. We'll be right back.
It's good fun.